All right, good evening. Day 25 is here and over. Um, Back at home, and I decided to do the cardio this morning on the stairs, as well as this evening. And come to find out, you know, my heart rate is about the same walking up and down stairs at home as it is in the gym. So sometimes it just depends on what's most convenient, which is one thing I really like about the stairs is just really being able to do it, whenever you want. Really, for me, it's just walking out of the room, going upstairs, and I have found that doing the cardio at home does save me a trip to the gym in the morning, which is sometimes 15, 20 minutes each way. Um, Even though if I'm going to work in the morning, I think for me it's just easier to kind of do it here because then I can cook at the same time that I'm doing some cardio. So it's just a little bit easier. So I am, still looking for ways to cut time from my day. I'm trying to really be efficient. So right now it is about 9:40 and I need to be going to bed here. Really, I should be going to bed at 9 o'clock, really. But there's just so much going on, and I'm trying my best to get into bed and do all the things that I need to do. So, time management is everything right now, and I think that's really important. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today was an experience I had, and I've talked about this quite a few times over, I'm sure, some of the videos, and that is obviously time management, which is one thing I just talked about, but also is just getting enough sleep. So obviously, a part of time management is making sure that you get sleep. I'm doing everything I can to not miss a meal, not miss my meals, and get all my macros in for the day. Also, to get some sleep and to meet all of my requirements as far as cardio and weight training. Um, so it has been a challenge. I will say that even today, trying to uh, just make sure that I have enough food and that I'm getting all my meals in and trying to get them on time. Again, just trying to be as consistent as possible so that I don't have to keep thinking. One of the things that I find myself doing is sort of switching back and forth between, let's say, chicken breast and ground turkey for protein. And unfortunately, ground turkey, it's only 22 grams of protein and there's only 4 servings. So you're talking, I have to continue to find ways to make sure I'm meeting my macros for the day, which means, finding some other foods to kind of throw in there and then make sure, I've got my protein powder in there and just all of that. So it's for myself, I feel like it should be easier because once I find a recipe or once whatever, I can just kind of keep following it and I shouldn't have to think about it anymore. But for some reason, I'm still, for whatever reason, trying to have some variety and make sure that I'm getting enough, of my macros in. So definitely one of the challenges I'm still working on. So time management, making sure I got my macros in, and then of course sleep. And I'll be very transparent and say I have been tired. I talked about this before. I'm just tired. I'm definitely not going to bed on time. Somewhere I'm getting somewhere between 5.5 hours of sleep on average, where I should be getting 6.5 to 7 to really function all day. One of the side effects that I've noticed of not getting enough sleep is around somewhere between 1 and 3 p.m. in the afternoons. I'm noticing I'm getting very sleepy to the point that I can essentially put my head down and be asleep. And I found myself around 4 or 5 o'clock when I was driving home from work, getting a little sleepy. And of course, that's not safe, and it's not cool to be at work and start getting drowsy because then my efficiency and productivity obviously goes down. Secondly, I don't want to be on the highway driving because if I'm getting sleepy, that's just too much of a risk. So that's not cool. So one of the things I told myself that I was going to do differently moving into the next day. So I said, I find myself getting drowsy. It is roughly between 1 and 3 o'clock when I start feeling the drowsiness at first. And I found myself saying, the next time I start feeling that way, I'm going to take a nap. Now, because my lunch usually runs between 11 and 1, I wasn't sleepy then. I wasn't tired. I didn't feel drowsy. I had plenty of energy from that morning. But around today, it was about 2:30. And I ended up taking a break for about 20 minutes. And I went down to my car. I set on my alarm on my phone, and I just took a 20-minute nap. It did not take long at all. Trust me. Once I got in the car, I set my alarm. I put my head back in the car, and I was gone. I was done. So 20 minutes. I was probably maybe 18 minutes in. I, woke up, and I beat the alarm. But about 18 minutes in, I woke up and I was like, okay. I didn't feel immediately better, but I realized that after that 20-minute nap, essentially 18-minute nap, I gathered my things, went back upstairs to my office, and I was able to finish the day strong. I was able to commute home with no problems at all. And I finished the workout and cardio, and I still have energy. So I guess the tip here, is that it might be okay to squeeze in a 20-minute nap if I begin to feel tired around that time. As a matter of fact, I heard or read that a 20-minute nap, can be very healthy. If you go too much longer than that, you can feel a little groggy, which is something I definitely don't want to feel. I just want to make sure that I have enough energy to finish off the day and be safe, during a commute. And I think the 20-minute nap did exactly what I expected. I didn't need any more caffeine, no more coffee, outside of what I got in my pre-workout and my intra-workout supplements. So that was sort of the interesting things that happened today. The last thing I'll say is day 25 workout was very tough. We worked on hamstrings, still doing unilateral hamstrings, and lower back or back, and then of course abs. And it was a challenge. It was pretty quick as far as the hamstrings and lower back. I have a really nice pump on the lower back today. I didn't have to carry a lot of weight, but I was definitely feeling it. Where I struggled most, and I recognize this is still a weakness for me, so I talked about this the other day, chest and abs are still probably my weak points. I don't have the strength currently to do a lot of ab work, but I went through and I struggled. I did a lot of rest pause to get through today's workout, and I didn't really need any weight. I just kept pushing through. And thankfully I can say that I finished and my abs are really feeling it right now. So overall, it was a good workout. Day 25 is behind me. I am feeling encouraged. One thing I'll make one other observation before I jump off, and that is, I'm still looking in the mirror, and there are some days where I feel like I'm real tight, my muscles are tight, and then there are some days where I feel like I'm a little more round and soft. I don't know what's controlling that, if it's the amount of carbs or salt or water or a combination of all, and I haven't been able to predict it. But I've just noticed some days I look real sharp and I can see all my I can see more of definition in my muscles, and some days not so much. So anyway, those are just some of my thoughts for day 25. It is behind me now, and I'm gonna get a couple grams of protein into me with some meals, and then I'm gonna jump into bed and restart the morning. So guys, it's gonna do it for me. Day 25, signing off.